The news is live on Joy 99.7 FM in Accra, on Love 99.5 in Kumasi, and on myjoyonline.com. We are also live on all 16 regions of Ghana, including Radio Justice, Tamale, Radio Pando in Pando, Fafa Radio, Joji, and Jatar FM in Karaga. We are also live on X Spaces and on Facebook. The Midday News is supported by Petrosol, your clean fuel in full quantity. Petrosol, always a delightful experience. Also brought to you by Duraplast Ghana Limited, producers of quality PVC and HDPE pipes and water tank, the only water storage tank with a level indicator. Where Duraplast goes, water flows. Coming up, few minutes to what promises to be a riveting day in court in the ongoing controversial ambulance procurement trial. Third accused, Richard Jakpa, expects the judge to be just and fair in her ruling.
As expected by the Constitution, for her leadership to hold fidelity to the law. That is all.
You think what has happened in the public court of public opinion would influence her ruling in any way?
No, I don't expect it to influence her ruling. The evidence should be, her ruling should be based on the evidence.
Senior legal practitioners are backing applications for live broadcast proceedings.
Not only this particular case, but every case that is in Ghana could be telecast live.
Stay for the details. And flag bearer of the NDC, John Dramani Mahama, takes on the Electoral Commission, accusing the body of aiding the MPP to steal the outcome of the December elections following a decision to prevent party agents from observing the transfer of votes.
We will ensure that our agents are there. We will rather bus more party people to every registration center from now till the exercise is over. We are duty bound to prevent perpetration of crime, are we not?
The EC remains defiant amid the criticism, but some civil society groups are backing the commission.
But to be there and in person to try to prevent people because you don't think they should be on the transfer list, I think that would be very unfortunate, and we shouldn't condone such kind of behavior.
Also in this bulletin, the Vice President, Dr. Bawumia, calls for a national dialogue on the future of stalled National Cathedral project.
The church has to come together and government together and let us know the best way forward, how we can even get private resources to help us to complete the cathedral.
We have details of this story, plus take you live for updates as Dr. Bawumia begins his tour of the Greater Accra region today. What's in sports?
Salisu Mohammed calls for support as the Black Stars jet off to Mali for the World Cup qualifiers.
And in the Field Exhibition series today, Rejoice Semefak Pesu reports on the sanitation situation on the streets of Ashaman.
We all worried about the rubbish issue.
My name is Hannah Odame, and I'll bring you details of this and more in this bulletin. Let's start in the courts, and in the next few minutes, the Attorney General Godfred Odame will face off with lawyers for Dr. Kesela Tuforsen and Richard Jakpa, who are standing trial for causing financial loss to the state in processes leading up to the procurement of some ambulances for the state. The AG has filed an application challenging claims of mistrial and an inquiry into his conduct by the accused persons, who are also alleging gross prosecutorial abuse and abuse of the court process by the Attorney General. In a trial that has been described by some as politically motivated, senior legal practitioners are backing application by the first accused for proceedings to be televised live. Law professor at the University of Ghana School of Law, Apeje Etia, and private legal practitioner Kweku Pencil believe live broadcast of the proceedings will be progressive.
It's also a case that has generated so much interest and discussions and debates and even controversy. Then it becomes a case of public interest, and people are interested to understand what the law is on the subject matter and to know how it may impact on their lives. So I think on that score, it will be a good thing if it is telecast live.
Justice is dispensed in the name of people like you and I, and if we really had opportunity, not only this particular case, but every case that is in Ghana could be telecast live and everybody will have the opportunity. At the end of the day, the real issue is about the resources.
Let's go live on the ground now, and Latif Idris is there for Joy News. Latif, tell us, what's the atmosphere in court today?
Well, Hannah, the atmosphere is that the courtroom, the Financial and Economic Court here at the High Court complex, is packed to the rafters. It's full with members of parliament from the opposition NDC. The first and the third accused, Dr. Kesel Atuforsen and Richard Japa, are both in court, and they are heavily supported by members of parliament from their party. We have lots and lots of lawyers from both sides seated. And I can tell you that the place is packed and everybody is waiting for the outcome of today's proceedings. Anna.
Remind us about the issues before the court today.
So, Dr. Keselato Forsen is sending an application to the court for mistrial. He believes that issues that have come up since the tape was played into the public domain shows that the Attorney General is abusing his prosecutorial powers. And so he wants the court to rule in his favor and declare mistrial. He is also applying to the court for televised or live broadcast of the proceedings, which we are waiting to see if the sitting judge will grant that application. Richard Japa also has his own application, and so we are looking forward to a ruling by the judge on all of these three in the next couple of minutes.
So as it stands, we don't know when the case will start?
So right now, as I speak with you, the judge has taken her seat and proceedings are underway, Hannah. But right before that, I caught up with the third accused, Richard Japa, and I spoke exclusively with him, and he tells me that he expects nothing but justice in his favor at the end of the day.
As expected by the Constitution, for her leadership to hold fidelity to the law. That is all.
You think what has happened in the court of public opinion would influence her ruling in any way?
No, I don't expect it to influence her ruling. The evidence should be, her ruling should be based on the evidence. That is all. That's what the Constitution requires.
But what you have in public opinion isn't included in your evidence. So how is that going to shape what you really want for the court to do?
Well, my evidence, I didn't give any evidence to the public opinion. I gave my evidence to the court. So I expect the court to do what is required by the Constitution.
So what you put out is already in court, you say?
My lawyer is dealing with it. He is a lawyer. He knows the strategy he's using.
Because the AG in his response to your application says, even though you mentioned in court that you have a video recording of you and him meeting, you failed to put that in court. It's not in court. That's his point.
And if you take your time to do a little bit of checks, you realize that what I said that I did the position of the court, I never mentioned of any video recording.
But
refer yourself to the proceedings of the court.
Mm-hmm. I'm only referring you to what the AG has said in his response.
That is what he has said. I'm dealing with the evidence in court, proceedings in court. In fact, everything is in court. And the court, the game is evidence. It's not public opinion.
Long and short, do you think you will be exonerated or you think you are going to jail?
Who will be exonerated?
You.
Me?
Yes.
I'm an innocent man.
Or you are going to be exonerated?
No, I can't go to jail. I'm an innocent man. Mm-hmm. And the evidence will point to that. And I believe that the judge will do what is required. You sound extremely confident.
And you heard Latif Idris speaking to Richard Japa there. And we'll go back to the Financial and Economic Court if there are updates from this developing story. Let's move on. And the opposition National Democratic Congress's mistrust and suspicion in the Electoral Commission is deepening by the day. The decision by the electoral body to prevent agents of the political parties from monitoring the ongoing transfer of votes has incurred the wrath of the flag bearer of the NDC, John Dramani Mahama. He noted this decision by the EC, despite an earlier agreement with the political parties at an IPAC meeting a week ago, indicates the Commission is intent on aiding the governing MPP in winning the 2024 general elections. My colleague Elton John Brobe joins me in the studio with more. Elton, what more is John Dramani Mahama saying?
He says he's not surprised that the MPP and the EC quickly reversed a collective decision taken at an IPAC meeting last week to have political party agents present at the district offices for the transfer exercise. The MPP knows and internally admits that it will lose the 2024 presidential election. He said, we also know that as a last resort, it seeks to deploy gerrymandering during this voter transfer period to improve its chances in the parliamentary election in the erroneous belief that it may rely on that to affect its presidential votes. Again, he says they will fail because the strategy will not work. He says we have in our possession a long list of constituencies in Ashanti and the Eastern regions and selected places in Greater Accra and other regions where the MPP is seeking to transfer thousands of votes from their stronghold to offset the NDC's gains in constituencies we control. Ghanaians have already decided to vote Akufo-Addo and Dr. Bawumia out because of the unprecedented hardship they are faced with due to their economic mismanagement and deep-seated corruption. He says, I'm certain that no amount of collusion between the Electoral Commission and the MPP can rescue the MPP on December 7, 2024.
And to affirm their decision, the NDC has directed its agents to fully monitor the exercise in all district offices of the EC. Deputy General Secretary of the party, Mustafa Gbande, says they are only interested in preventing crime.
Yeah. Our agents are going to be there. We are going to bus a lot of party people to every registration center to ensure that anyone who does not qualify to transfer their votes will not be allowed to even get to the center.
But the reason
we have taken a decision on it as a party.
My concern is the possible chaos this may create if the other side also decides to do the same. The very reason the EC says that you should allow them to do their work.
The problem is when EC have gotten Kudu and the rest to be speaking as if they are political parties and understand the stress we go through when they don't. The issue is that the Electoral Commission itself have not avaited itself to fairness and transparency given the period of time that we have found ourselves in. And I'm saying that we can show you records of people who are being bashed who are not ordinarily residents. In the past, we have challenged these people, but the challenge forms end at nothing. They simply don't do anything about it. So we are saying that we will increase vigilance to rather ensure that wrong people are not, put into our electoral rule. That we will ensure that our agents are there. We will rather bus more party people to every registration center from now till the exercise is over.
And that, Mustafa, will be encouraging lawlessness, knowing very well that you have no law to stand on to do what it is you want to do.
We are duty bound to prevent perpetration of crime, are we not?
The governing New Patriotic Party has, however, agreed to withdraw all its agents in line with the EC's directive. Let's hear from Peter McMenu, who speaks for the party.
We should try to protect the process very well and not to undermine the authority of the Electoral Commission. We all agree that that even though the law does not permit these agents to be there, in the name of transparency, let them be there. But if we think things are not going right, and it may, at the end of the day, even undermine the whole exercise, I don't think the NDC should insist on any form of illegality by undermining the authority of the Electoral Commission. We must respect the authority of the Electoral Commission. We should make sure that every opportunity that exists for any political party to challenge whatever process there is, bear in mind that when people are going to do the transfer, it is expected that they provide even the proof of their physical location why they are there. So if the parties are pushing for the Electoral Commission to provide more information on who has been on transfer list and the supporting evidence to make a case, then that is fair. But to be there and in person to try to prevent people because you don't think they should be on the transfer list, I think that would be very unfortunate, and we shouldn't condone such kind of behavior.
You heard there the team lead for CDD Ghana, Gilfred Esiama, who are backing the EC's decision. Let's move to the flag bearer of the governing MPP, Dr. Bawumia. He's calling for a national dialogue on the future of the stalled National Cathedral project. Millions of cedis have been spent without progress. This has drawn criticism from some clergy members, minority and civil society organizations. Some keyboard members of the National Cathedral have even resigned, citing lack of transparency in the execution of the project. This issue came up strongly when Dr. Bawumia met the clergy earlier today as part of his tour of the Greater Accra region. In response, the flag bearer said there's a need for the church and government to figure the way forward for the project.
The question on the National Cathedral is a very important one. The National Cathedral, I have contributed to this construction personally. I believe it's a very important thing for Ghana. But I think that as it stands now, the church has to come together and government and let us sit down and talk about the way forward for the national cathedral. The church should come together and let us know the best way forward, how we can even get private resources to help us to complete the cathedral. But I think it is possible. We should not say it is not possible. Let us all sit back together and figure out the way forward on how to complete this cathedral. I think if we all come together, we'll figure it out. I really believe so.
He also spoke about some savings that have been made by the state through the elimination of ghosts on the public payroll.
But one of the areas that we have been able to really make a progress is ghost names. This is huge corruption that was taking place because people were put on payroll without working, and other people will collect their salaries. So I said that the solution to this problem is to link every worker to their Ghana card. Once you link every worker to their Ghana card, that means you link every worker's fingerprints, right? And every fingerprint is unique. And we know ghosts don't have fingerprints. So immediately we did that, the ghosts ran away. They ran away across. National Service Scheme, 44,000 ghost workers. 44,000. They ran away. SNIT Pension Scheme, 29,000 ghost pensions. National Service, we saved over 400 million Ghana cedis. SNIT, over 300 million Ghana cedis. Two institutions alone, over 700 million Ghana cedis. Savings, just by taking out the ghost workers. Two. So you can see the extent of the problem. And now we can say we have cleaned up the controller database. Everybody has a fingerprint.
You heard the flag bearer of the governing MPP, Dr. Bawumia, and will soon establish contacts with Samuel Imbura, who is with the Vice President, for more on the tour of the VIP's Greater Accra region. Now let's move on. In the Colleges of Education Teachers Association of Ghana, CTAG, has notified the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission about its decision to go on a strike. This comes after the May 31st ultimatum the association gave government demanding a resolution of their service conditions, which elapsed without any progress. Maxwell Agbagba joins me in the studio with details of a statement from CTAG. What are their concerns, Maxwell?
Well, one, they say that the Ministry of Education has willfully failed to comply with the National Labour Commission's compulsory arbitration award issued on 2nd May 2023. Two, that both NLC and the Ministry of Education have denied CTAG members what is due them based on a compulsory arbitration award issued on 2nd May. They also say that the Ministry of Education has deliberately refused to pay deserving members of CTAG a top-up of research allowance as arrears arising from the 2023 conditions of service agreement signed with the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission. That to date, the frozen August 2023 salaries of National President and a host of their members continue to remain unpaid for no justifiable cause. In conclusion, they wish to state unequivocally that the union shall no longer countenance any further violations of their rights as workers by any authority under the 1992 Constitution of Ghana. Hannah.
What happens after the ultimatum?
Well, they are saying that they're going to strike if no intervention is made on this matter.
And President of CTAG, Prince Obeng-Heman, says they will not return to the classroom until their demands are met, just as Maxwell said.
And we think that it's against our economic rights as members of a union and, for that matter, citizens of Ghana. People are retiring. People are dying. Your delay, you will call it procedural. But what you have to realize is that it's depriving people opportunity to have decent and then deserving economic rights. And they are retiring. They are dying. So that is why we are saying that in the face of all these things, we also have to put up a spirited, positive defiance so that we go on strike, and then the National Labour Commission that gave the order, that has the responsibility to go to the court to ensure enforceability of its orders, will do same.
Workers of State Transport Corporation (STC) are demanding the payment of their Tier 2 pensions and other benefits which the company has defaulted for the past 6 months. The workers who voiced their frustration over their conditions of service are worried the lack of payment of their SNIT contributions could hurt their lives after they retire, as recently retired workers of the institution are experiencing similar challenges. Yao Anana is the Senior Staff Divisional Chairman at STC.
You see, you can imagine if you work for 30 years in a company, you are going on retirement, and you go home 2-3 years, your retirement benefit has not been paid to you. What we need currently is buses. If we have the buses, we'll be able to work to pay ourselves well. But without the buses, what is the deputy managing director coming to do? For about 6 million Ghana cedis, that should go to Senate, is not going. And if you go on retirement in STC, there is some lump sum that STC will have to give to you as a retirement package. You go on retirement 2-3 years, you will not receive those retirement packages.
Among their demands is the revocation of the appointment of the third deputy managing director at the company. The new deputy director was due to start work on Monday, June 3, as a replacement to the deputy director who went on retirement not too long ago. But there was no sight of any deputy director after the door to the office was locked by the workers. The workers insist management needs to prioritize acquiring more buses instead of appointment of new deputy managing director.
To our surprise, we heard that a new deputy managing director is coming. Before then, the 3 deputy managing directors that the company currently have, the staff are not happy with it because it has put a financial strain on the company. And if one of them is going, we think it is a relief so that those monies can be used to at least channel towards the payment of this backlog that we are talking. And if there is anything that the staff of STC need currently, it is buses, not a deputy managing director. What is she coming to manage?
Efforts to get the Transport Ministry to respond to these demands have been unsuccessful. And we'll take a quick short break here. When we come back in our field exhibition, Rejoice Semefa Kwesu reports on the sanitation situation on the streets of Ashaman.
We all worried about the rubbish issue.
When budgets are tight and money difficult to come by, you want to be sure you get the best value for your money. These are not times to be spending money fixing expensive engine problems because of cheap fuel and lubricants. Drive to a petrol source station today and buy your quality fuel and lubricants, and rest assured of fuel that lasts long and lubricants that prevent expensive engine problems. Hear the sound. Petrosol, clean fuel in full quantity.
The regular football season is over. But not for us here at Supersport. We've got a big deal coming your way. Get connected to DSTV to see some of football's biggest names starring in all 51 matches of Euro 2024, live and in HD. Now that's a big deal.
Welcome back. What's in sports, Achu?
Well, the Black Stars of Ghana are on their way to Mali for that crucial World Cup qualifier in Group I. The Stars are 4th with 3 points from 2 matches and need to get a result in Bamako. Here's central defender Salisu Mohammed.
I think this game is very important for every Ghanaian. It's a World Cup qualifier, and we know how it's important for Ghanaians. So and we have a good players, good young players, and Ghanaians need to believe on the young players. And I think we can do it better. We know it's not going to be easy, and Mali has a strong team. I think we need to prepare. We need to train hard day by day, and hopefully we will win the game.
The match is on Thursday at 7 p.m.
And we'll stay tuned to that. In today's Filth Exhibition series, Rejoice Semefa Kwesu takes us to the streets of Ashaman, where the lack of rubbish bins is forcing residents to dump waste in the middle of the road.
The streets of Ashaman are currently engulfed in filth. filth creating a public health hazard. This has become an eyesore for both residents and visitors. The stretch from the Ashaman Underbridge to Aferiwa has been particularly affected, with piles of rubbish packed along the middle of the road. This has led to a buildup of trash that includes household waste, plastic bottles, and other pieces of scattered rubbish. Even though the situation is worrying, the residents say they are tired of complaining. Madam Agnes is a resident.
We all worried about the rubbish issue. Some residents give their rubbish to these junkies, and they in turn dispose of them behind people's homes and on the street. Whenever it rains, some people dispose of their refuse into the gutters. You can't even talk about it because you get attacked. We are pleading with government to help.
D-Trip, who is a resident and trades in menswear, expresses frustration over the persistent issue.
Myself, one time I noticed that we lack dustbins. I even complained to the municipal assembly some time ago that the reason why the rubbish are always on the streets is the result of no dustbins. From here to Ashasek, or let's say runabout, there are no dustbins. The junkies that they carrying the trash too. Whenever they carry the trash, they will take the money. They will come to the streets to take the money, or come to your various places or your houses to take the money.
Rejoice Sebefa Besu brought us that report. Now, a research fellow at the Ghana Center for Democratic Development, CDD Ghana, Dr. Kwame Sapong-Asiedu, has questioned the budget for the National Health Insurance Authority to run a 6-month free dialysis treatment for patients below 18 years and above 60 years, as well as provide subsidy for persons between the ages of 19 and 59. The scheme budgeted a total of 4.4 million cedis, made up of 2 million cedis seed money approved by Parliament and another 2.4 million from the authority's internally generated funds. However, speaking on the Super Morning Show earlier today, Dr. Asiedu said the scheme needs at least 7 million cedis to run the service for 6 months.
You realize that they're giving a table which gives you the number of patients who are under 18 and over 60 in each facility. If you put it together, that comes to 84 patients. But you know that Kolebu has a different funding scheme because there's a philanthropist who is paying for them. So you take Kolebu out and it comes to 73. So 73 patients, you are doing 8 sessions for 73 patients every month. So if you multiply 8 by 73, you get 584. That's 584 sessions a month based on their document for the 73 patients. And then you are doing it for 6 months, which is 26 weeks. So if you multiply that by 26 weeks, that gives you 15,184 sessions for these people over the 6 months. And if you look at their own document, they give you the assumptions. They say cost per session 491. So you multiply that by 491. And what you get is 7.45 million, which is what I've always told you guys.
The National Health Insurance Authority says it has an explanation. Let's hear from the Public Relations Officer, Oswald Mensah.
And when we say vulnerable, we're looking at children who fall under the age of 18 years and those that are 60 years and above. So for that category, we're happy to say that NHIS will take on board the full cost of their dialysis sessions. And I believe that's about 8 sessions in a month.
Right.
And it doesn't stop there. We're also going to take care of patients who are also within the active bracket, which I would want to refer to as 18 years to 59. So for those who are seeking treatment in Kolebu, what we're saying is that we will pay for 50% of 2 sessions.
So then how will the treatment of dialysis be financed beyond the 6 months and permanently alleviate the pains of patients? Majority Leader Alexander Afenyomakin says the matter has been referred to the Health Committee in Parliament and a report from the committee will be laid upon the resumption of the House.
I think the Health Committee is working on it. There was a referral to them, so I'm sure when we resume, they will bring their reports. Honorable Akando is a ranking, and then Honorable Dr. Ayu Efriye is a chair. They get along. Those two leaders, they get along on matters that.
Majority Leader Alexander Afenyomakin there. And from there, we move to MNJ. What's trending?
Yeah. Okay, before I tell you what is trending, a Dutch passport or Legon PhD. Which one would you choose?
I'll choose a PhD.
You choose
Oh,
a PhD?
really?
Okay. So Kofi Gaps is trending. Legon PhD is also trending on Twitter.
And Dutch is also trending.
That is also trending. That is because a Ghanaian who has relocated, who just got a Dutch passport. He's a cleaner outside Ghana. He says his Dutch passport is more valuable than a Legon PhD.
A Ghanaian Legon PhD.
Yeah, and the Legonites are not happy. A lot of people are not happy with these comments on social media. This one here says, no wonder Kofi Gaps prefers cleaning jobs in Amsterdam over a PhD in Ghana. See in Sawam government hospital condition whenever it rains. Shaking my head.
Yeah, and this one also says that not everyone's priorities are the same. For some, a PhD may be the key to unlocking their goals, whilst others may prioritize the freedom and adventure that comes with a foreign passport.
Why not tell us what you choose?
And then Kekeli says, what if he wanted to say degree? The probability of him not knowing difference between PhD and degree is high. School is not a scam. As a Legon boy, I'll choose Legon PhD.
Well, yeah, school. Yeah, but I'm not a Legonite, so I'll choose my school's PhD.
Okay.
Definitely.
Thank you so much for joining us. That's all for the Midday News with me, Hannah Odame. But you can log on to myjoyonline.com for more news and watch out for that court proceedings. Whenever I start, we'll bring that to you. Coming up next is Living Word with Dr. Mensah Rotabel.